Hey, welcome everybody to CP's Cards and Dice replay of the 1988 World Series, the way it should have been, with the Mets facing off against the Oakland A's. The series is tied at 1. We're playing Game 3. Game 3 starters are Ron Darling, the right-hander, versus Bob Welch. Now, Bob Welch was 17-9 with a 3.64 ERA. And Ron Darling was 17-9 with a 3.25 ERA. So 22 home runs allowed for Welch, 24 home runs allowed for Darling, 60 walks allowed for Darling, 81 walks for. So this is a pretty good matchup. We are in Oakland, and it's going to be Mookie Wilson leading it off for the Mets, playing center field today. Lenny Dykstra sitting it out. Greg Jeffries at third base. Keith Hernandez first base, batting third. The cleanup batter is Strawberry in right field. Kevin McReynolds, K-Mac, in left field. The Kid Carter, Gary the Kid Carter, the catcher. It's Hojo Howard Johnson, the shortstop, and Wally Backman at second base, and it's Lenny Dykstra, is the DH. There is a DH in this game because they're playing in the American League ballpark. So Dykstra is the DH. And we're right about to get started. We're using Stratomatic Advanced Rules. Got the fielding chart right in front of me. We're using the Stealth Dice Tower to roll the dice. We're rolling all 4 dice. We rolled a 1 in case we need to use that. That's an interesting little roll there. 20-sided die, we rolled a 1. So it's going to be 5. It's going to be off the pitcher versus a switch hitter. He's batting lefty against a right-hander, Welch. So it's going to be versus a left-handed batter. A 5-12 is a diamond shot. A diamond shot 1-6 home run. And he is N, and that's a deep drive to right field, and back goes the right fielder Canseco to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. 1-0 Mets. Mookie Wilson leads off with a home run, and Bob Welch wishes he had that pitch back. This is the first start for Wilson in the series. Series is tied at 1 apiece. 4-4. So that's going to be off Welch against, again, a lefty. 4-4 is a ground ball, third base, X. Third baseman is a 2. We rolled a 4. Third base, 2, a 4. And that's a ground ball picked up by Lansford. Fires to first and gets Jeffries, 1 away, top of the first, 1-0 Mets. Here's the pitch to Keith Hernandez, the captain. That's a 5-5. That's a ground ball, second base. Hubbard over to first, 2 out. And Darryl Strawberry. Darryl has good power, good pop in his bat. Hit 39 home runs in 1988. And that's going to be a 3. That's going to be off Darryl Strawberry against a right-hander. A 3-5, and that's a deep drive to right. That goes Canseco to the track, makes the catch, and that retires the side. Mets pick up 1 on the home run, the leadoff home run by Mookie Wilson, and they lead it by a score of 1-0. Ron Darling on the mound, 17-game winner for the Mets in 1988. Now, I'm trying to give away that set, that 1991 set, season set, with the box, with the whole charts and dice and that whole thing. I know I'm never going to use 1991. It's just kind of in between where my interests lie. And trying to give it away, but you have to watch all the videos of this series and answer the 1965 Twins season, because in 91, the Twins won it. But we're asking questions about the 65 season. One guy that's always fascinated me was Zoilo Versailles and the season that he had. Had a crazy season that year. And his nickname was Zorro. And He was their shortstop that year. The question today is, how many doubles did he hit in 1965? That's the question. Now, the way you're going to answer that is you're going to send an email to combatpainter at yahoo.com with the answer to that. And then you're going to be put in to the raffle. It's going to be Tony Phillips. He's a switch hitter. He's going to be batting lefty against the righty Ron Darling to lead off the bottom of the first. It's a 2-12, and that's a foul ball behind the plate. The kid throws away the mask and makes the catch, 1 away. Next is Henderson, Dave Henderson. Pitch to Dave Henderson. Oh, I'm going to have to re-roll that. And that's going to be a 1-3 off Henderson's card. That's a hit by pitch. So Henderson gets plunked. And he's a D-stealer, so he's not going to be going anywhere fast. And it's Jose Canseco, one of the Bash brothers. Here's the pitch. Here's the pitch to the Bash brother, number 1. 5. That's going to be off of Darling. 5-5, and that's popped up to the right side. Second baseman calls for it. Out number 2. It's Mark McGuire, first baseman for the Oakland A's. Bash brother number 2. Here's the pitch from Darling. That's going to be a 2-11, and that's going to be a ballpark single. And now, oh, wait a second. I never printed out the, oh man. Never printed out the American League sheet. Surprised I didn't do that. So now I got to go to the Strat ballpark effects. Just search to that. Strat-O-Matic ballpark. Oh, it's not writing anything. That's good. Ballpark effects. All right. It gives me the whole. It gives you every chart. Just Google Strat-O-Matic ballpark effects, and it gives you every chart. You don't need the charts. I mean, you can just pull them up. Let's see. 1988 American League. I mean, 1988 American League ballpark. It's going to be Oakland 1. A 1. What do we roll? A 5. So that's not going to be a hit. It's going to be an out. What was that? 2-11. 2-11 is an out. What kind of an out was it? 2-11. Roll the. It's going to be a line out to. He's a righty. Line out to shortstop. L6, 3 outs. The A's leave 1, and they're the score none, and the score is 1-0 Mets, going to the top of the second. Mets are bringing up McReynolds, Carter, and Johnson. See if everything's within sight. Yes, it is. Series is tied at 1 apiece. Replaying the 1988 World Series. And the Mets replaced the Dodgers because we played the Mets-Dodgers NLCS, and the Mets won it 4-1. So it's a 5. That's off Welch's card. He's a righty, a 5-9er, and that's going to be a 1 triple. A 6 is going to be a single. So that's ripped to left, and playing it on a hop is the left fielder, Phillips. McReynolds is on with a single. Now, McReynolds is an A base stealer, so that means he's a 1-15 base stealer. They're holding him on. 1-13. The catcher is a 0. I don't know why that's not there. Hasse is a 0. It's Hasse and not Hasse is a 0, so it's going to be 1-13. Let's put that 0 in there. All right. So Carter, here's a pitch. It'll be a 1. a 1-7, and that's going to be a 1 double. We rolled a 12. That's going to be a single. Runner advances to third. Hustling over to third. So that's line to left. And it's first and third now. Oh, I looked at the wrong card. Look at that. I never switched the card. So let's do that again. A 1-7, and that's going to be a ground ball. Third base. It's going to be around the horn. 5-4-3 double play. 5-4-3 double play. 2 out. And Johnson. Howard Johnson. Here's the pitch from Welch. That's a 6 off Welch's card. He's a switch hitter. He'll be batting lefty. A 6-5 is popped up left side. Right there is the shortstop. Weiss calls for it, makes the catch that retires the side. 1 hit, no runs, no errors. And at the end of 1.5, it's 1-0 Mets. Terry Steinbach, Carney Lansford, and Glenn Hubbard. Here's the pitch from Darling. And that's going to be a 1-8, and that's a ground ball to short. Johnson over to first, 1 away. Carney Lansford steps in the box. He's a right-handed batter, and that's a 6-5. It's popped up right side. Hernandez, he's there. Now Keith Hernandez is a color commentator for the Mets. And he's very entertaining. He's written a couple of books. I Am Keith Hernandez is the one I'm reading right now. And I played Keith Hernandez's last series with the Cleveland Indians. He's an interesting character, and he used to play Strat as a kid. And he'll mention Strat, quite often in his in the broadcasts. Glenn Hubbard, and that's a 2-12. That's going to be a ground ball pulled down the line to the third baseman. Jeffries up with it, fires to first, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Darling. Go to the top of the third. We have Backman, Dykstra, and Wilson against Bob Welch. I remember Bob Welch as a Dodger. Here's the pitch from Welch. It's a 3-6. That's ball 4. So Backman walks. He's on at first. And next is going to be Lenny Dykstra. Now Backman is not, he's a B base stealer. So he may go, we'll see what happens. Dykstra, 3-7, and that's a horseshoe single that does not apply, so it's a single right now. And it gives me, it asks me, a single to what? Horseshoe single, 7. Center field. Center fielder's arm is a -2, so he's going to hold up. Let's see Backman's speed. His speed is 15, so -2 would be 13. 13, and we rolled the 2. Oh, I just looked at that. That's not fair, though, right? Because now, I was thinking about it, but I was going to do it. That's why I looked. So anyway, let's move to third. I was going to do it. That's why I looked. Had it been a bad number, I don't know what I would have done. So let's see. Let's roll again. Let's be fair. So it's a 13. He needs a 13 to make it to third. And he is safe. All right. First and third now. Dykstra's on at first. Backman's on at third. Dykstra stealing is a AA. So that's a 1-17 -2 that they're holding him on. 1-15. So we're going to send Dykstra, but we're going to wait. We're going to wait for 1 out before I send him. And it's going to be 5. It's off Welch against Wilson. A 5 against a lefty. 5-7. Ground ball, shortstop, X. Shortstop is, oh, you know what? Wait a second. Wait a second, because, yeah. All right. ground ball shortstop X. It's a 7, right? So the shortstop is Weiss. He's a 2. We rolled an 11. Shortstop 2, 11. Check his error rating, which is 18. 18, and we have to roll 3 dice. 18, and that's a 10. 18, 10 is going to be a ground ball A. 6, 4, 3. Double play, and a run scores on that. 2-0 Mets. 2 outs now in the inning, and it's Greg Jeffries with nobody on. Here's the pitch to Jeffries. It's a 5-10. Another lefty, a 5-10, and that's going to be 1-11 home run, 12-20 split die double, and that's a 14. So that ball is going to hit off the top of the wall, and in with a stand-up double is Jeffries. 2-out double. Keith Hernandez now. Here's the pitch. Oh, gonna have to re-roll that foul ball straight back. That's going to be a 6-8, and that's going to be a 1-2 single, and it's a 9. Line caught by the second baseman Hubbard, and that retires the side. Mets leave 1, score 1 on 2 hits and a walk, and after 2.5, it's 2-0 Mets. 2 hits here. We're replaying the 1988 World Series the way it should have been. It's Ron Darling versus Bob Welch. Darling will be facing Hasse, Weiss, and Phillips. It's the pitch to Hasse, a lefty. It's going to be a 4-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. We're a 3-11. A second base 3-11 is not there, so we're going to look at E8. E8, we're going to have to roll. E8, that's a 5. A 5 is a ground ball. And Backman over to first, 1 away. Weiss, Walt Weiss, first at bat. 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. That's a 6. Weiss is a switch hitter. He'll be batting lefty versus the righty Darling. Say 6-11. That's a ground ball first baseman X. It's a 20. Our first baseman's a 1, and that's a ball hit to Hernandez, who's going to take it himself. 2 out. And it's Phillips. Tony Phillips, he popped up to the catcher in his first at bat. It's going to be 2-5, and that's a 1-3 triple, 4-20 fly out, and it's a 20. So that's a fly ball right field. Right there is Strawberry, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Ron Darling. In the bottom of the 3rd, we go to top of the 4th. 2-0 Metsies. Darryl Strawberry is stepping in the box. He bats from the left side, hit 39 home runs in 1988, so he's got good power. Here's the pitch from Welch. It's going to be a 1-9er, and that's lined base hit to right. And he's an A base stealer. That makes it 1-15. -2 for being held. That's 1-13. And you know what? We're going to go. See what happens. Throw all caution to the wind. That's a 15, and he's out. Gunned down by Ron Hasse. 2. And the next batter is a righty, so it's going to be a 2-4. 2-4 caught stealing. 1 away. Kevin McReynolds. That's 3-6. A 3-6. That's ball 4. Now McReynolds is an A as well. Gary the Kid Carter. That's a 4. He's a right-hander. A 4-8. It's a strikeout. First strikeout of the game for Welch. 2 out. And it's Hojo Johnson who popped up to the shortstop. 0 for 1 on the day. Steps into the box. Here's the pitch. That's a 3-8. And that's a single to center. McReynolds running it's a -2 for the outfielder. McReynolds is a 16, so that's going to be a 14. I don't remember if it's a +2 for being 2 outs. I can't remember that. I think there's a +2. So anyway, I'm going to play at 16 because I think there's a +2 when there's 2 outs. So we're going to roll 15. That's a 10. He makes it. Makes it to third. So it's a single. First and third now. And Wally Backman. Pitch to Backman. It's a 3-7. The 3-7 is a strikeout. Big strikeout for Welch. And that's the third out of the inning. Mets score none on 2 hits, no errors. And Mets lead it by a score of 2-0 going to the bottom of the fourth. It's going to have the Dykstra leading off the top of the fifth. Ron Darling on the mound for the Mets. Dave Henderson steps in the box. Darling looks in for the sign. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-9er. That's a ground ball to short. Hojo up with it. Guns it to first. 1 away. Jose Canseco, Bash brother number 1. 112. And that's a ballpark single. We rolled a 13. That won't do it. And that's line to short. L6. 2 out. Need a 1 for those ballparks. Here's Mark McGuire, the other Bash brother. That's a 4. A 4-9er. That's a 1-7 single. We rolled an 8. It's line to the shortstop. Back-to-back lineouts to the shortstop. 3 up, 3 down. So that's 11 in a row. Retired by Ron Darling. Now, Ron Darling is also another color guy for the Mets. The guy who does most of the announcing is Gary Cohen, one of my favorite announcers. I mean, I can listen to that trio, 24/7. I really, really like them. I think I highly recommend you check these guys out, and their conversations are very, very entertaining. It's going to be Lenny Dykstra leading it off in the top of the fifth. It's 2-0 Mets. Mets up. Here's the pitch from Welch. 4-9er. A 4-9er to a lefty. 4-9. That's ball 4. So that's walk number 1, 2, 3. Third walk. Mookie Wilson. And Dykstra's a threat to steal. He's a AA. And we're going to send him. We're going to send him. He's a AA, -2 for being held. So 17 goes to 15. It's a 1. That may be an error now, so I got to roll for that. It's a stolen base. That may be an error, throwing error on the catcher. And I think Hassey's 1-5 on that. I believe Hassey is 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So we're going to roll, see what happens. We need another 1 or a 2, and that's a 12. No error. Okay. Wilson now with a runner at second base, and you know what? He's going to bunt. Wilson's going to bunt. That's a 6. I think a 6 will do. What kind of bunter is he? He's bunted. Oh, a D bunter. Wow. A D bunter 6. Batter is thrown out at third by third baseman. Runner advances 1 base. All right. Sacrifice. So runner at third now. 1 out. And it's Greg Jeffries. I'm going to bring the infield in. It's already the 5th inning, and we're down by 2. It's going to be a 3. A 3-5, and that's lined base hit to left field. Jeffries goes the other way. That's an RBI single. Mets lead it 3-0. And with Jeffries now, what kind of base runner? He's a B. Keith Hernandez. I never do hit and run, but you know what? I'm going to do hit and run today. I'm going to do hit and run with Hernandez, who's really good at hitting. Even though that makes no sense for it, doesn't make a difference. Single, runners advance 2 bases. So there goes the runner, and ground ball through the left side. Hernandez went the opposite field with it, and it's first and third now with 1 out. Infield's going to come in again for the A's. Strawberry 3-0. Now with the A's power, you know what? I'm going to bring in the corners and leave the shortstop second baseman halfway for the double play. See what happens against Darryl Strawberry. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 1-8. A 1-8, 1 to 15 is a single, and that's lined, caught by the second baseman, Hubbard, L4. Now, lineouts with the infield in. I don't know what the rule is with that. Infield in, basic loaded situation, around third is the. I know actually, you know what? I think it's History Maker Baseball that a lineout is a hit, but I don't have that. I don't think that rule exists here. I do not think that rule exists here. So the lineout's just a lineout. There you go. And what are the hits here? What are advances? Oh, safe on a single. Ground ball followed by 2, safe on a single. Runners advance 2 bases. Anyway. All right. So that's a line out. There's 2 outs now. In the top of the 5th, it's 3-0 Mets. It's Kevin McReynolds steps up to the plate. He's a right-handed batter. Now McReynolds batted 288 with 27 home runs, 30 doubles, 2 triples. It's the pitch from Welch. That's a 5. He's a righty, so it's a 5-6. And that's going to be a 1-3 single, and it's a 9, so that's going to be lined and caught by the shortstop, Weiss, to retire the side. The Mets pick up 1 run on 2 hits. 1 run on 2 hits. And they lead it by a score of 3-0. Go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Bottom half of the 5th inning. Steinbach, Lansford, and Hubbard. Here's the pitch from Darling. Retired 11 in a row. It's be 3-5, and that's lifted to shallow left field. In comes McReynolds. Makes the catch. 1 away. Carney Lansford popped up to the third baseman in the 2nd inning. It's a 1-6. A 1-6 is a ground ball to short. Hojo over to first. 2 away. And Hubbard is next. Glenn Hubbard. That's a 1-7. A 1-7 is a ball 4. That's a walk. A 1-7. So Hubbard walks. And Ron Hasse, left-handed hitting catcher. It's a 5. A 5 snake eyes, which is a ground ball to short, X. The shortstop is a 4. We rolled at 12. Not going to do it. So we're going to have to look at his error rating, which is a E24. E24, where is that? Right there. E24. And that's a 4 on E24, 3 to 6, 11 and 12 is a 1 base error. So first and second now. E6 on, let me double check that, 18. Yeah. We rolled a 4, a 3 to a 5, and then a 9 is a 1 base error. Yep. So E6, Johnson boots one, 2 outs, runners on first and second, it's Walt Weiss. That's a 3-8. A 3-8 is going to be a, well, if there's a runner on second, there's going to be a horseshoe here. That rule, correct me if I'm wrong, says that with 2 outs, a single turns into a pop-up. So that's going to be a pop-up to shallow, very shallow right field, pop 9, and that's going to retire the side. 2 out, runner on second. That horseshoe becomes an out if it's a single, or it becomes a hit if it's an out. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. The A's leave 2, score none, 1 error, and a walk. And at the end of 5 complete, it's Mets 3, A's zilch, zip. Bob Welch is facing Gary Carter, Hojo, and Wally Backman. Here's the pitch to Carter. Carter's 0 for 2. He hit into a double play and struck out. Oh, no. Come back here. Calm down. Calm down. Don't ever do that again. Bad. Bad. All right. Gonna roll them all again. Foul ball. That's going to be a 2-5. A 2-5. And that's going to be a grounder to short. Weiss plays it on a hop. Throws on the run. Gets Carter easily. Carter doesn't really get down that line very much. Hojo. That's a 2-8. It's a ground ball to third. Lansford over to first. 2 away. And Backman, excuse me. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. That's going to be a 4. He's a switch hitter. He's batting from the left side. A 4-4 ground ball third base X. So he's a 2. We rolled a 20. That's going to be an out. Picked up by Lansford over to first. Nice scoop by first baseman McGuire. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to the bottom half of the 6th. The Mets are up 3-0. Playing Stratomatic Advanced. And it's Game 3 of the 1988 World Series. The way it should have been with the Mets in it. Mets were highly favored against the Dodgers. Dodgers got lucky. Come on now. How are you going to compare the Dodgers and the Mets in 1988? There's no comparison. Phillips. Check at the beginning of this broadcast for the information on winning that 1991 season, Stratomatic season, with charts and dice and all. I'm giving that one away. I'm never going to play 1991. I don't know why I bought it. It's just one of those things. I was just buying a lot of stuff. I had the fever. I was under the fever, the effects of the fever. That should be like a Contagion movie, right? One of those movies where the disease spreads, the fever. Do you have the fever and then you slowly, you start bleeding from your eyes and pus comes out of your earlobes or your ears and oozes down your earlobes and down your neck and your nails turn black. Anyway, back to baseball. Phillips. Tony Phillips, who's 0 for 2, he's popped up to the catcher and then flied out to Strawberry and right. Ron Darling. That's going to be a 4-9. A 4-9 against the lefty is going to be a 1-16 single, and that's grounded through up the middle and through for a base hit. Phillips on with a single. He won't be running. Dave Henderson. Pitch to Dave Henderson. He's 0 for 1. He was hit by a pitch in the first. Oh, that was the first hit, by the way. That was the first hit for the A's. There goes the no-hitter, but line drive by Phillips. Actually, the ground ball hit well up the middle and to center field. Henderson, it's a 6. Henderson is a right-handed batter. A 6-6, that's fly ball, center field. Back goes the center fielder. Who's that? Wilson. And makes a nice running catch. He got a good jump on that ball. And it's Canseco. That's a 110, and that's a diamond shot. Diamond shot, and we're going to have to look at what that is. Oakland, diamond shot, Oakland. Righty 1-4. We rolled a 12. It's a fly ball, deep left field. Back goes McReynolds, makes the catch. So you're not hitting very much here. It's 1-4 for a home run, and it's a 1 for a single. So 1-4, 1 for a single. Right? And then 1-4 for a... There we go. Mark McGuire. He's up next. 2 outs. Runner on first. Here's the pitch to McGuire. He's got good power as well. That's a 3-4. It's a grounder to short. And Hojo flips over to Backman, and that retires the side. 4-6. Force out. And that's out number 3. But the A's pick up their first hit. And after 6, it's the Mets 3 and the A's nothing. Ron Darling pitching a masterpiece. Bob Welch is going to face Dykstra, Wilson, and Jeffries. Pitch to Dykstra, the left-hander. A 1-9. It's going to be a split die double single. A 5 is a ball that bounces, one bounce off the wall. And in quickly with it is the left fielder, Phillips. But it's a double for Dykstra. His second hit of the game, he's actually 2 for 2 now. A single and a double, a walk and a stolen base and a run scored. So Dykstra is on at second. Here's the pitch to Wilson, Mookie Wilson. That's a 2-12, and that's a fly ball center field B. And then it has a question mark. So the B, I guess, says the runner holds. Is that it? Yeah, runner on third scores, runner holds. Question mark. That means I could try to score. Oh, I'm sorry. I could try to move Dykstra to third. Center field is a -2. Dykstra running is a 17. That's going to be a 15. 15, he goes to third. So we want to try to do that. That's going to be huge if we can make it. So need 15 or less. 11, he makes it. Nice tag up. And the throw not nearly in time. Jeffries now with a runner on third. That's going to bring the Oakland A's infield in. Here's the pitch. That's going to be a 2-5er, and that's a ground ball to the first baseman. Let's see what that is. I don't know what that means. Oh, ground ball B. Runner on third is out now. Other runners advance 1 base. Oh, so I guess I didn't hold them up because there's 1 out, and I have an automatic rule that with 1 out, I send the runner. With nobody out, I hold the runner. So this is a ground ball B. Runner on third holds. Runner on third holds, and all these ground balls. Other runners advance 1 base. Okay. So that's basically it. The runner's going to be out. I guess it's third to home, 3-2. It's a 2-5. Let me double check that again. A 2-5 is a ground ball B. Runner on third is out. Okay. Other runners advance 1 base. Ground ball found on ABC. Infield in. All right. 3-2, and they throw out Dykstra. I'm not happy about that. But the runner is safe at first on the fielder's choice. So Jeffries is a B. B base stealer is 1-13. They hold him on. It's 1-11. Keith Hernandez the batter. We're going to let Keith Hernandez bat with Jeffries on at first. It's going to be a 6-3 against a lefty. A 6-3 is base on balls. That's a walk. Now, let's quickly look at something. Let's look at this game. Okay. In this game, who played? Who pitched for the A's? Cataray, Nelson, and Honeycutt. Cataray, Nelson, and Honeycutt. So I think that's going to be it. We're going to bring in a lefty to face. That's New York. Wait a second. Bring in a lefty. Honeycutt is a lefty. Honeycutt and was Cataray a lefty as well? I'm not sure. I don't have Cataray. Where's Cataray? I don't even have him. Is he here? The Stratomatic is not known for having, every card or even close to every card. So I don't have Cataray. Oh wait, could that be him? There he is. All right, he's a lefty too. So we're gonna bring in Greg Cataray. I think I have the extra players on this set. So I seem to have a lot of the players that played in this. So Cataray is going to come in to pitch to Strawberry. We're going to do that, and then we're going to fill it in with a blue. We're going to make Cataray blue. We're going to replace Welch, who gets a good round of applause from the crowd. Cataray. That was like cabaret. It's Cataray. And he comes in the top of the 7th with 2 outs, runners on first and second. And he's going to face Darryl Strawberry. Now, I usually don't put the relief pitchers because they don't last very long and I don't grab them too much, so I don't put them in these sleeves. Somebody asked me about the sleeves. Now, I bought a large quantity from a guy. I bought 1,000 or something like that for $20. And they don't have I think you just get them from China. You can look the size. Do I have a ruler around here? Do not have a ruler around. But whatever they fit the cards perfectly. So just measure the card. Look, if there's nothing left. I mean, whatever. It's almost the same exact size as the card. So that's whatever size the card is. That's what they are, pretty much. All right, Darryl Strawberry. Here's the pitch to Darryl. Darryl has great power. Hit 39 home runs in 1988. See if he connects here. 2-7. So that's going to be off Strawberry's card against a lefty. A 2-7 is a strikeout. Down swinging for the fences is Strawberry, and that retires the side. Mets leave 2. 1 hit, no errors, score none. And after 6.5, it's Mets 3, A's 0. Steinbach is coming up. Lansford and Hubbard against Ron Darling, who's pitched masterfully up to this point, is allowed but 1 hit. Here's the pitch from Darling. That's going to be a 5 on Darling's card. A 5-5. That's popped up to the right side. Second baseman, Backman, is there and makes the catch. Carney Lansford is next. He's 0 for 2. He's popped up and grounded out. That's a 5. He's a righty. 5-4 this time. Catcher X. Our catcher is a 2. First time I flipped the chart. A 2 catcher. We rolled an 18. That's a foul out. Popped up. And that's behind the plate. Carter throws his mask away, makes the catch. 2 out. And it's Hubbard. Glenn Hubbard, who's 0 for 1. He's walked, grounded out. It's going to be a 2-3. And that's a comebacker right to Darling. Feels his position, throws him out. 3 up, 3 down. Go to the top of the 8th inning. Cataray is going to face McReynolds, Carter, and Johnson. Not pulling Cataray for this. Going to let him stay in there. Here's the pitch. Versus a left-handed pitcher, it's a 3-4. A 3-4, that's popped up to the left side. Third baseman Lansford puts it away. Gary Carter. That's a 3-6, and that's popped up, this time to the right side. Second baseman Hubbard waits for it. 2 down. And Howard Johnson, we're in the top of the 8th. It's Mets 3, A's nothing. Cataray on the mound for the A's. It's a 3 against a left-handed pitcher. A 3-2, and that's a fly ball left field. Phillips is there, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. Now in the bottom of the 8th, it's going to be Hasse, Weiss, and Phillips. Here's the pitch. That's a 3-9er, and that's lined and caught by the second baseman Backman. Walt Weiss, who's 0 for 2, he's grounded out and flied out and popped up to shallow right. That's a 5. That's going to be off the pitcher. He's a switch hitter. He's batting lefty. A 5-8. That's a strikeout. Curveball gets him. Strikeout number 1. They didn't strike out very much in 1988, from what I'm seeing. This is the first strikeout for Darling in this game. 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and it's Tony Phillips. Phillips is 1 for 3. Here's the pitch. It's a 1-7, a 1-7. That's a strikeout. Second strikeout, back-to-back strikeouts for Darling here in the bottom of the 8th. The Mets lead it 3-0. No runs, no hits. No errors in the bottom of the 8th. Go to the top of the 9th. I'll let Catteray go one more inning. Doing well. Why mess with it? Let's double check something though. Let's double check 38 walks allowed, 72 innings pitched. You know what? I'm gonna bring in Nelson. Let's see if we can get Nelson. Gene Nelson's coming in. Gene Nelson's going to be red. Gene Nelson's pitching to Wally Backman, Dykstra, and Wilson. Here's the pitch. It's a 2. Gene Nelson's a right-hander. A 2-7, and that's a strikeout. 1 away. Next is Dykstra, left-handed, hitting DH tonight. Usually plays center field for the Mets. Nails is his nickname. 2-6. 2-10, excuse me, 2-10, and that's a potential single. And we rolled the 1. That's a line drive base hit center field for Dykstra. My God, that's the only way he could have gotten a single at Oakland. And he does it. It's right up here. And so Dykstra's on at first, and stealing, he's a 1-17. They hold him on. So he's going to go 1-15. He steals. And he does. Safe at second. Mookie Wilson with 1 out, run around second base. 3-0 Mets here in the top of the 9th. That's a 2-8. A 2-8. And that's going to be a single. And they'll give me a chance to score. Dykstra running. That's a single to what? Let's see. A 2-8 is a single to center. It's a -2. Dykstra's a 17. 1-15. He makes it. Let's do that. Here's a throw to the plate, and not in time. RBI single by Mookie Wilson, and it's 4-0 Mets. Now Mookie has good speed. Mookie's a beast, base stealer. 4-0 Mets here in the top of the 9th, and it's Greg Jeffries. Switch hitter batting lefty. That's a 4-8. That's popped up to the right side. Right there's McGuire, 2 away. And Keith Hernandez. That's going to be a 6-9. A 6-9 is going to be a split die. It's a split die. 1-4 is a single. We rolled a 3, so that's lined. Base hit. And it doesn't say anything about how far he goes, so we can send Wilson if we choose. We rolled the 3, and we do. So it's going to be first and third with 2 outs. Darryl Strawberry. We're going to bring in Honeycutt to face Strawberry. We want this game to get out of hand. Honeycutt's going to be green. Another left-hander. So we're going to fill that in the red for Nelson, who did not do very well, gave up 3 hits and a run. And we're going to bring in Honeycutt. Rick Honeycutt's coming in. He's going to face Strawberry, lefty versus lefty. Here's the pitch. It was on first and third, 2 out, 4-0 Mets. Top of the 9th. It's a 5 versus a lefty. A 5-10 is a diamond shot. Home run. We rolled a 4. That's a deep drive to right field. Back goes the right fielder Canseco to the track, to the wall. It's out of here. 3-run home run for Darryl Strawberry, and we're going to double check that. But he unloads on the first pitch thrown by Rick Honeycutt, and the Mets now lead it 7-0. And we're going to double check that. It's 1-4 home run right there. You're looking at it, and we rolled a 4, and that ball's out of here. 7-0 Metsies. The Amazons up now. 7-0. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3 run home run by the Strawberry. And coming up is McReynolds. And that's going to be a 6'11" ground ball, pitcher X. Honeycutt is a 2. We rolled a 4, so he's a 2-4, and that we're going to have to go to Honeycutt's error rating. That's an E38. E38, let's see. We rolled a 10. E38, a 10 is an E1. A one-base error by Honeycutt, so it's a dribbler. Honeycutt picks it up and drops it. They're going to give him an error for that. And McReynolds on it first. 7-0 Mets here in Game 3 of the 1988 World Series, the way it should have been. Mets, Oakland A's. Gary Carter, the pitch from Honeycutt. That's 5. He's a righty, a 5 snake eyes. That's a comebacker. Honeycutt's going to handle this one. Flips to the first baseman, McGuire, and that retires the side. But not before. The Mets pick up 4 huge runs on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits and an error. And they lead it by a score of 7-0 going into the bottom of the 9th. Now you want to win that 1991 Strat set. Go to the beginning of the broadcast and check out the question, the trivia question. Answer that. Send the answer to combatpainter@yahoo.com, and I'll put you into the raffle. 7-0 Mets right now. Bottom of the 9th. Darling's going for a complete game. He's going to be facing Henderson, Canseco, and McGuire. Pitching a one-hitter here. Allowed 1 hit, and 1 walk, and 1 hit batsman. Those are the only 3 base runners. So that's going to be a 4 versus a righty. A 4-4 is a fly ball center field X. Wilson is a 3. We rolled an 18. And that's going to be a ball that Wilson catches up with for out number 1. 1 away. Next is Jose Canseco. Here's the pitch to Canseco. It's a 110, and that's a diamond shot. We rolled an 18. That's a deep drive to left field, excuse me. Back goes McReynolds to the track, makes the catch. 2 away. Mets are 1 out away from going up in the series 2-1. 7-0 Mets here in the bottom of the 9th. Mark McGuire. Bash brother number 2. That's a 2-8. That's ball 4. So McGuire heads to first, and it's Terry Steinbach. Steinbach's 0 for 3. He's grounded out, flied out, and popped up. Here's the pitch to Steinbach. That's a 4. Steinbach's a righty, so it's a 4-9er. 1-7 single. We rolled a 19. That's lined and caught by the shortstop Johnson, and that ends the game. And a masterpiece by Ron Darling, who picks up the victory, went 9 complete, gave up 1 hit. The Phillips single in the bottom of the 6th. Strikes out 1, 2 in the game. Walks 2. Went in that 9th inning. Allows no runs. And Ron Darling pitches masterfully. Shuts down the Oakland A's offense for a complete game 1 hitter. Now Welch is going to get the loss for the Oakland A's. And that's all for Game 3. The Mets go up in the series by a score of 2-1. They win this game 7-0. And that's all she wrote for tonight's game. Game 3 of the 1988 World Series, the way it should have been. The Mets lead the series by 2-1, 2 games to 1. And that's it. That's it for tonight. Big hit of the game was the Strawberry 3-run shot in the top of the 9th. That definitely put the game out of reach at that point. But before that, you had an RBI double. Actually, it was an RBI double by Jeffries. Never gave him the ribby there. Oh no, actually there was no ribby. He scored on a double play. It was first and third. He scored on a double play. No ribby there. And then there was a home run by Wilson, leadoff home run in the first. It was an RBI single by Jeffries. It was a walk to Dykstra, stolen base by Dykstra, and then an RBI single. And then finally in the top of the 9th, they brought in Nelson, and Nelson struck out Backman, but it was the third hit of the game for Dykstra, and then his second stolen base of the game. So really Dykstra was on all 4 times. 3 hits and a walk, 2 stolen bases, a double. And he steals second after the single. Then it was an RBI single by Wilson. And then Hernandez singled. Wilson made it to first and third with 2 outs. And it was Darryl Strawberry who came up against Rick Honeycutt. And here's the first pitch from Rick Honeycutt. And that's a deep drive to right field. Back goes Canseco to the wall, to the track. It's out of here. 3-run home run by Darryl Strawberry, puts the Mets up by a score of 7-0. And that was the replay of that hit. And that's all she wrote, guys. Take care.